Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And today we're going to talk about Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, and the presidents. They're your friend, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, they just did it November 1st. What you want to call a pause? I don't know what that means. What I do know is they did not do anything with the federal funds rate, and that's a winner for you. As they messed up, ladies and gentlemen, that means it's almost time for you to reap the rewards, but you have to start doing things now. So let's talk about that in this edition, and welcome. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. And once again, I want to thank you so much for being here. Please share the videos. Why? Because you never know who's going to be out here helping you. That is for sure. And also, there are a lot of people that do not understand when the Federal Reserve messes up. The Federal Reserve messes up, for example, interest rates are higher. That means they have to do something with the economy. When interest rates go higher, they're trying to stall the economy. It's not that hard to figure out. What happens when you stall the economy? That means people may not be able to afford items that they want. So therefore, you either are going to have to live paycheck to paycheck, trying to afford the same thing, increase your wages, which is equally as hard, or reduce your expenses, which is equally as hard, so the ordinary citizen is locked in. You have to remember, the wealthy rely on debt and derivatives of the debt. So that also will stall. You cannot create paper and turn it into lots of money like you used to do on a rated time frame. So that's the thing. So when you increase interest rates, less borrowing. Less borrowing means none of that paper that we can turn into derivatives is happening, even though there is still some. It's just that it drops off dramatically, especially at this 5.25 to 5.5% federal funds rate, which turns into almost an 8%, or in this case, they are 8% mortgage rates. Increases your credit card rates to 20, 30, maybe even 40%, which you don't really pay attention to. So what do you need to do? Pay down debt, ladies and gentlemen. That's for sure. And if you're going to use debt, then therefore you're going to have to do the old-fashioned way. Whatever you charged, pay that amount off within 30 days before your statement is due. If you charge $500 before your next statement is due, pay the $500 so you'll have 0% interest on those new charges. Well, the old charges might be racking up 20, 25, 30% annual, and you can't catch up, just like what you should be investing in. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to get into this right here because I've talked long enough. This is the Stop Struggling Now YouTube channel page and podcast page. So make sure, please, that if you would like to become a member of the channel, you see a few of them that are shown courtesy of YouTube on the front page. They, under the community tab, receive special messages. They also receive 1 or 2 videos specifically for them during the month. They receive special messages that also include things like PSEC, ORC, whoever's giving out dividends. I remind them these are some of the stocks that are giving out dividends, for instance. Now, members of the channel can also join me on any live stream. Want to make that clear. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, or any live stream, you can come in to the stream. You don't have to show your face if you're camera shy. And that is another perk. On Wednesday night, only members with the icon can be in the chat room. So make that very clear. Now, here's what I want to do. Jerome Powell came out today, holds rates steady, upgrades assessment of economic growth. Here is the problem. Due to situations by the current administration, you've had this influx of people getting jobs. Now, we don't know what kind of jobs they are, but the fact they're getting jobs. And why is the Federal Reserve worried about jobs, ladies and gentlemen? Please make comments down below. I want to know, why do you think they're concerned about jobs? Because shouldn't they be concerned about inflation? Due to their hand of printing money, they're responsible for the inflation with other people spending trillions of dollars. And we're in debt 34, 35 trillion on the books. But you guys know how that goes. We're actually in debt trillions more due to derivatives. Borrow against borrow. Against the borrow, and then somebody buys the paper. So all those people along the line who've cashed out, they have limited risk. But the guy at the end holding the bag, when that bag gets heavy, when these rates start going up and you can't do anything, you're not going to take on an 8, 9, 10% loan in hundreds of millions of dollars, are you? No. This is how they've messed up, ladies and gentlemen. So I want to hear from you. Why do you think they always are worried about job growth? Waiting for this week when the job numbers come out, like our buddy Jerome Powell has said. Now remember, I've always had fun because I believe Jerome Powell is our friend. He's just not the friend of the lower class and the middle class. That's the problem. It's a wipeout. But he is damn sure the friends of everybody that has influence. And in fact, I'm going to show you something now, speaking about a little influence, because it's very interesting that this is what's going on right here. We're going to be talking about this on the live stream tonight. But this is what I want to show you right here, because I find this fascinating. This is housing market crash. Wells Fargo warns of 1980s recession 1 day ago, 23 hours ago, this article came out, right? And they're talking about Wells Fargo economists just warned of a potential 1980s style real estate recession. They're probably right. Because the only way you can stop the recession for housing is what? You have to reduce the federal fund rate. As long as they're keeping it steady, there's going to be a slow meltdown until there isn't. And this is why I say they can do all this steady as she goes. We're not at 2%. But the fact of the matter is, all they have to do is just walk to the podium and say, we are going to do a rate cut. That will start the debt market rolling like it's 1999, as they say, like a party's going on. That's all it takes. Soon as that happens, stocks rise, real estate rises. Everybody's back in party mode, debt heavy. We don't want to be in that ballpark. You want to buy assets right now, ladies and gentlemen. But here's the thing. This is funny. As you may have heard, the Mortgage Bankers Association, National Association of Realtors, National Association of Home Builders wrote a letter to Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell earlier this month. They pointed out that the mortgage interest rates have now reached a 23-year high, dragging application activity down to a low last seen in 1996. This is what I'm talking about. Who do you think he's working for? You guys should be upset about this. They're sending letters so he can reduce the federal funds rate. Oh my God, we can't sell homes because those are liabilities. We can't sell homes. Hurry up and reduce the interest rates for us, please. Can you imagine citizens sending in things to the Federal Reserve saying, hey, man, what's going on with this inflation? You need to increase the interest rate so inflation comes down? Because it doesn't really matter to you that much. because you're not playing the derivative game. You don't have to worry about you borrowed against your loans and stocks and you leveraged yourself by borrowing against your assets. You didn't do none of that because you're in the lower to middle class tier. It's the top 10% that they're concerned about because they will be melting down. Companies, corporations will be melting down. But this just gives us an opportunity, ladies and gentlemen. That's all that happens. And they're not the only ones sending letters to Powell. That is what's so funny about it. There's other whiners out there in the top 10% of the wealthiest saying, come on, please help us out. We don't want this to happen any longer. Please reduce the interest rates. I find this very funny, but not really. All right, you guys should be upset enough to say it's time for me to get assets. And I'm going to wrap this up because he is our buddy, because we know what to do. Right now, stocks are going to be heading in a level and downward projection. So all you have to do is think about it. If you missed our live streams, again, this is valuable information. I went over all the indexes on Monday night. The Dow Jones. It's about halfway between the last 52-week high and 52-week low. All right? S&P 500, nearly the same. All the indexes are nearly half to or a little below their 52-week high. What is so special about this? The interest rate, the Federal Reserve rate. Notice they aren't hiking the rate like they should, because if they were really trying to get down to 2% inflation, then that would be a thing. And again, I'll probably get banned for this because this isn't rocket science. They don't know the difference between inflation and price gouging. This is what's hilarious about this. That's why they will not increase the interest rates rapidly like they should, because the price gouging has been allowed. That's what its inflation is. It isn't also based on the money, is it? That they've been printing up for the last 12 to 14 years? Could it possibly be? Banks still unregulated but regulated somehow, and they still go out of business, insolvent. You tell me, ladies and gentlemen, who are they really trying to protect? But their protection means you got opportunity. You have to start paying attention. Buy the assets. The stock market, that's a good one. A home, not so much. But real estate that gives you money back, that's an asset without you having to work for it. We talk about several ways. Pre-construction is one, because that gets you in without credit. You might need your credit a year and a half or 2 years from now, but you can fix your credit back up, right, in that amount of time if needed. So, two of the most powerful things that the wealthy use: securities, equities, which is stocks, pieces of paper. They resell it. You can do the same thing. You just have to get in the game. They've messed up again. They mess up about every 10 years or so. And that means you get a rebirth all the time. If you're not there yet, now's the time to grab what you need and pay attention over the next 6 months, because they cannot sustain this regardless of what our friend Powell is saying. But all I do know is I'm loving every minute of it, because he doesn't want to do anything. He's not going to do anything. That means ordinary citizens can get in. Go check out the dividend funds, ladies and gentlemen. ORC, PSEC, AGNC, NLY, ARR. Go check them out, because they're going to be sustainable. If they do not raise interest rates, some of those are REITs that I gave you. You have to understand. That means the REITs who have borrowed money and leverage as well, if they could give you 20% returns right now, you can buy in right now at this stock price and you can get over 20% returns, over 15% returns, over 12% returns. That means it could be for life, because once they reduce the interest rates, that takes the pressure off of those type of companies. They're going to be happy to see that. So you have an opportunity to put money into places that could do 15, 20% regulated environment. You want to go with the bank? Go with JEPI. That's JP Morgan. JEPI, JEPQ. You want to go with some like Vanguard groups or BlackRocks? What's the problem? Go with them. Everybody knows VOO. All the ETFs, they're down pretty much 25 to 30 to 40%. What's going to happen when the stock market and the Federal Reserve increases their or decreases the interest rate? Now, the 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 people you know, the companies you know, Apple, Microsoft, you know them, Google, you know them, they're going to rise dramatically along with a whole bunch of other companies. That's why you need to buy in at a certain point sometime in the next 3 months. Because again, if they don't reduce interest rates in December, which is only next month, that was my prediction earlier, so be it. But this is a longer video than I wanted to say, but I rarely get to talk on video like I'm on a live stream, but this time I took advantage. So once again, let me know what you guys think down below. Oh, that's right. You might want some more stocks? Go check out yieldmaxetfs.com. Mic drop. And with all that said, thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here, and it's only going to get harder for a certain percentage of the population. What is that, 60 some percent who's living paycheck to paycheck? Now it's going to be 70 some percent. Take your pick, ladies and gentlemen, which way you want to spend your dollars on. Buying assets that pay you, or buying liabilities that pays you nothing except now you have debt. Because all-time record high in credit card debt in America is now. And with all that said, keep your head up, keep moving, and I'm out.